something with your life. Real estate lunchbox is something I was toying with for a long time. I said, should I even do it? I don't want to gatekeep or hold back any, but I realize every time I give information to people and I'm pouring out to them, they tend to forget who gave them the jewels, and then they go do their own thing. I'm talking about investors that I've worked with. I'm talking about agents that I've shown how to do things. Bro, I've been in the trenches. I've been sued and I sued, okay? And I don't hold nothing back because there's nothing to hold back. It's nothing to hold back. Real estate is a dirty business. Making some dirty money. And some people are just too coward and too soft to even deal with it. So what I say is if you're soft, you don't need to be in real estate. You don't need to be in it if you're soft. Because there's a lot of soft people out here and they're in the business, agents in the business. This is business. We are not socialist. We do not give you anything, nor will we ever give you anything, okay? A price has to be paid. Somebody did the dirt and somebody went through the moves in order to learn what they learned. Yeah, buddy. It was very tight. No lie, it was very tight. I remember back in 2015, 2016, when I started, 2005, 2006, when I started real estate, like actually trying to figure this thing out, nobody wanted to give me any jewels. They want to charge me to sit down and listen to them, and I had to pay to sit down and listen. Then I figure out, oh, this is BS. I don't want to do that. Nobody's really doing that. You teaching me stuff that nobody's really doing, and you're probably saying more things just to make yourself look good, to get me more, spending more money with you. And in Atlanta, they will get you behind. Oh, they will get you. And they will leave you. They will leave you. And you will wonder what the heck happened.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to talk a little bit about Atlanta. Because damn well is a scam culture out here, too. All right? And I'd rather be out of the city, in the suburbs. Y'all jokers can stay in the city. You hear me? Y'all jokers can stay in the city. Y'all can stay in the city. But I'm going to tell you where the bag is going to. Remember I said Who Moved My Cheese? I know I mentioned that before. It's a book. Who Moved My Cheese? The cheese is moving, and we're going to start with our first one. The cheese is moving, and that cheese is moving from New York down to the South. We're talking about billionaires who are already leaving the city because they don't want to deal with socialist issues. And then we're also talking about billionaires who are going to be letting people go because they got to close their supermarkets because they don't want to deal with the socialist mayor Mandani. Okay? And how does that have to do with real estate? Leon, how do you pick these topics? I picked this topic because I want to, and it's my damn show. That's why I picked it. But more importantly, I picked it because if you're an agent and you're an investor and you think that the money isn't going to flow down here since Zoran Mandani did what he did, you're in a world of hurt. Matter of fact, you're smoking on something, Smokey, and we don't know what you're smoking on because you're not tapped into what's really going on. Guys, you got to realize when money leaves one place, it never goes away. Money just transfers from one hand to the other. So when a billionaire supermarket guy says he's shutting shit down and he's moving to the and there's going to be a lot of people without jobs, people need to listen because people are going to be leaving the city and money's going to be leaving the city. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I want some of it. I just want some of it, and you should want some of it too. And we need to talk about the bag. How does this help our current market? Regardless if you're in Atlanta, if you were in California, Texas, however, when money is changing, we want to start marketing in those cities for people to come to our respective cities and buy our property. We want them to buy our land so they can build on. We want them to buy the houses that we've got to flip so they can flip. We want them to buy our commercial properties, but the only way we can do that is we can stop being so sensitive about what's going on out in the culture, what's happening in politics, look, listen, and see how they move. Or you can sit back and continue to complain about Donald Trump, whining and complaining, Donald Trump. He got elected as president. I can't believe he's a crook. You never built shit. That's the reason why you can't believe he's like that. You can't. You can't. You only are used to getting your what is it? Your check. That's all you used to getting your check. But this billionaire supermarket guy, he's gonna be he's setting it down and he's moving to the South. So let's not moving to the South, but he's letting everybody know in the city that he's gonna close some locations. And I love it. I love it. I think that's exactly what needs to happen to send a message to some of the socialists that are out there that believe that money grows on trees and that they have the right to actually tap your pockets. You may not feel that way. Probably it's because you've never made more than 30, 40,000 a year. So you feel it's okay for that to happen. That's your issue with your poverty issue. So you have to deal with your poverty mentality. But us who have been conditioned, who are renewing our minds, who understand that money isn't evil and that it has a purpose on God's earth to help people, need to are putting ourselves in the position to catch the wealth transfer and transfer it over to what God has put on our heart to do it. Okay, so let's go. Let's see what this guy's talking.
Today on Forbes, supermarket billionaire threatens to cut workforce and move to Florida after Mamdani's win. In June, New York City supermarket billionaire John Catsimatidis voiced strong opposition after Zohran Mamdani secured the Democratic primary win for mayor. Catsimatidis had opposed Mamdani's proposal to establish an affordable city-run grocery store in all 5 boroughs. In response to escalating food prices, Mamdani has proposed a plan for city-sponsored stores. These stores would operate with a non-profit model, featuring wholesale grocery prices achieved through partnerships with farmers and small businesses. Crucially, they would be exempt from paying rent or taxes. The billionaire threatened to shut down his 30-plus stores if the Democratic Socialist won the election. Catsimatidis held a press conference with bodega owners and publicly ranted on TV. He compared Mamdani to Fidel Castro, telling Fox News, quote, "He is not qualified. This is silly. It's one big con game." The supermarket businessman called on President Trump, who publicly backed his friend, saying, quote, "Mamdani actually wants to take over the grocery stores of John Catsimatidis, who's a great guy, a rich guy. He actually called me the other day. He's concerned his stores are going to be taken from him, and they won't be run like John runs them. Believe me, he runs a good operation."
And he will take your shit. He is planning on taking people's shit. He already told the landlords he would definitely take your piece, your land, even though they are putting in cap rates and they have cap rates which make it horrible for people to owners to actually repair their property. You can't repair and then also have a cap rate which limits the amount that you can collect and then turn around from there and have to you're going to turn around and from there and have to lose your property because that cap rate, it makes it where you cannot turn around and take care of your property at the level that it needs to be. You can't charge over a certain amount, so you have to stay under a certain amount, and then the city starts complaining when repairs aren't done, and they know that the cost of real estate over there is expensive. They know the taxes are high, but they really don't care. They really don't care. That's why I say the money's moving down to the South, okay? And I'm pretty sure.
Forbes estimates Catsimatidis' net worth to be $4.8 billion. Catsimatidis asserts that the lack of profit margins is a major struggle, noting his stores have been losing money for, quote, at least 2 years.
They need to stop that shit. They say his net worth is 4.8 billion. They don't even mention the amount of real estate that's actually made in that 4.8 billion. And it's like, oh, he's taking home 4.8 billion. If you have a chain of stores and you bust your ass to keep that thing running and you hire the right people, you're able to scale and expand the store. I don't blame him for making 4.8 billion because people who never ran anything will actually be the people who say shit like that. They'll say that it's crazy.
He attributes this decline to the city's overall
and not to mention that Forbes, this is a Forbes article. Forbes has already been purchased in part by the Chinese government. Yes, there are Chinese entities who own Forbes, the magazine. So I expect it to be a little bit not a little bit, a good amount bit leaning towards the left, and definitely more communist and socialist in mind when it comes to it.
Claiming that record high shoplifting and store closures have made shopping difficult and subsequently driven down sales.
And that would make sense because New York doesn't chase people down to a degree when it comes to someone stealing the stores. California did it. Now they're getting more soft on crime in New York. Soft crime affects the income of the city, of people who own businesses that are out there, because those people come and rob, steal, and take things out of their business. Okay, and they still have a profit margin that they have to meet. And New York is notorious right now for being soft on crime. And as Mamdani takes office, it's going to become more and more soft on crime. So why would anybody want to even stay there?
Katsimatides, who employs a few thousand people, hasn't decided how his business will respond if city-run stores undercut its prices, but says he's, quote, sure he will need to reduce its workforce. He says, quote, can you imagine a tax-free supermarket that pays no commercial rent tax, no sales tax? I mean, how do you compete against that? You can't fight City Hall. Katsimatides ran for mayor in the 2013 Republican primary but lost the nomination. He says, quote, the way things are right now, we pay taxes on our taxes. I mean, it's out of control. No wonder people are yelling and screaming that prices of food are too high. Now that Mamdani has been elected, Katsimatides is once again agitating, telling Forbes, quote, I think a lot of business people are reducing their exposure to New York City. Katsimatides, with his $7.8 billion Red Apple Group, has considered moving the conglomerate's headquarters to New Jersey if Mamdani were elected mayor. Red Apple Group's holdings include a Pennsylvania oil refinery, roughly 400 convenience stores, and a real estate portfolio spanning New York and Florida. He changed his mind after
Florida. What's up, Florida?
Tuesday's most recent election, saying, quote, New Jersey didn't go the right way. He was referring to the state resoundingly electing Mikey Sherrill as governor. Now he's looking for, quote, friendly states to relocate operations, with Florida being the most likely candidate. Katsimatides explains, quote, the key word is a common sense place to do business in. While he threatens to relocate, Katsimatides still has a soft spot for the Big Apple. He says, quote, I just hope he keeps the quality of life going in the city and does not cut the New York Police Department down. For full coverage, check out Martina De La Costa's piece.
Yep. Quality of life is the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. Quality of life. You can't have a good, solid quality of life when you have police officers that don't enforce the law and label a violent act, that somebody invading into your home, as a non-violent offense. I keep saying they're just going to come back. It's just going to grow. It's just going to make it work. But guys, this is what you deal with socialism. And a lot of black people don't get it. They think it's just Trump. And these are just greedy people. Now, I agree, corporations need to be held. They need to be held to a standard. But we hold the corporations to a standard through what we choose to buy and what we choose not to buy. So when we sit back and complain about billionaires being a certain type of way, or a company being prejudiced or discriminative, you need to say, where do you want to put your money? We saw people like Jamal Bryant, as crazy as he is, turned around and did that whole thing with Target. As off the wall as Jamal Bryant is, he still knew enough that he knew money control these corporations. So you have the money, which means you have the control. And more importantly, when the people rally together who agree on certain things, then they can make those changes or force those corporations to make these changes. I'm not talking about taking their shit. I'm not talking about bankrupting them. I'm not talking about low price grocery. Let me tell you, do you guys know what low price groceries actually mean? I mean, if you've ever worked at or been to one of those places like Ingles or some of those, Save a Lot. Save a Lot is one of those places. Save a Lot. And man, look, all right. But you have stores like Save a Lot that's designed to save on groceries for people. But you think that you're saving a lot. No, you're exchanging lower cost goods for lower quality goods. Okay, you're saving money to eat lower quality goods. And eventually, which we all know, the lower the quality goods that you eat, the more it begins to affect your body over time. But they don't tell you that. They want to tell you to save. That grocery prices are high. Yeah, we need to get these grocery stores to lower the prices on what they're spending. Joe, let me tell you, there's so many places you can go and find cheap food. But it's exactly that, it's cheap food. Like McDonald's cheap food. We don't eat it. None of my family eats it. We don't eat that shit. Burger King, every now and then I'll get a burger. But you got very few ones that have good quality food. Good quality food. Why is that important? Because the deception is we're going to pay less for food, okay? Now you'll have more spending cash because you're paying less for food, and it's regulated by the government, regulated by us. So if they were going to charge you $5 for eggs, now you're not going to get charged $5 for eggs. It'll be $2. But do you think that the farmers who make the eggs are going to continue to have it slashed? Somebody's gonna lose. Somebody's gonna lose. Either they're gonna sell you some old ass eggs and you're gonna eat it, okay? And you're not gonna know the difference. And I've seen that so many times. People just eat old shit and don't know the difference. They just eat it and they think since it's cheap, that is good. But guess what? Cheap isn't always good. Matter of fact, cheap is never, ever good. And nobody ever told you. It doesn't matter. Your goals in life should be not just the stuff you put in your body to be quality. Well, the stuff not just the stuff you wear, because I know Black people like, a lot of us, y'all like the Gucci, y'all like the Fendi, y'all like the Chanel, you know? But when it comes to the food that you guys eat is shit. You don't grow anything in your backyard. You don't know what the purpose of growing good stuff is. You can't tell the difference between, most Black people I know can't tell the difference between virgin olive oil, and what is it? Canola oil. They'll fry in either one. They don't care. They don't know how it affects your arteries. They don't know how it affects your metabolism, your body, what it does to your weight. See, there's so many pieces in this. Not just give me some cheap food, Mandani. Give me some cheap food, but you know, one thing is true. If you don't, my mom used to say, my grandma used to say, man, if you don't hear my child, you're going to feel.